could take that out. Or...
That's fine.
I'm now waffling.
Thank you, that's it.
You're more than welcome.
There's a fella I know, a director and a writer in Ireland, and he's quite good in the sense that I've worked with him before, and he just keeps me updated with any auditions he hears that I might be interested in. So I think I was quite a late addition to the auditioning process.
I don't know. How did I get involved with this film?
I answered in the casting notice on Mandy.com, and I was in Glasgow at the time, and I was looking for film work. So that's how I got involved.
Actually, an agent phoned me, JBM Casting phoned me, and it was Graham Miller, Graham Miller I think it was, and he says to me, Robert, there's a great character for you here. I says, what is it? Don't tell me it's a gangster. Still looking for a psychopath. Fine, okay, that's fine. I really like doing the parts. So I got it, phoned me, I phoned Layla, Layla, and she says, would you like to go down and we can speak to you because we're at the James Watt College? I says, yeah, certainly. So I got 10 minutes, I put my leather coat, walked in, and when they saw me, they were quite impressed with my features and stuff like that, and I showed them my show reel, I showed them all my CV, and from there on, they picked me for this part.
I saw the posting for the film on a website. Seemed like an interesting project. So I sent my details, my photo and my CV over to the director, Fraser Cool, and I left it up to him. He got back in touch, said he was interested, so he presented a part to me, which was the bad guy. So very interesting character. Certainly the story was what appealed to me. There was instantly a lot of depth to the character, so I was quite keen to get involved.
It was an email I got from Fraser well after I applied for... I don't know how the fuck I got involved with it.
It was Stephen, actually. He texted me and said, oh, there's a thing on UK Screen, you should have a look at it, think you should go for it. So I went back that night and applied and appeared, and that was the beginning of that story.
Well, I was out for a drink one night and two guys come along, jumped me in an alleyway. Seriously, I'd spoke to Fraser by email with regards to another project about a month before this started. And that was how we got to introduce oneself to Fraser, and when the project was developed, he got in touch with me and I went along to the casting.
Next. Oh no, I do. I seen an advert on there. I think it was you. Was it UK Screen? UK Screen. And I applied for it. Fraser got back to me and says, I'd like to see me for an audition. Went for an audition. Wanted to go for penicillin first, but didn't get to audition, so I ended up getting Chief Inspector Mullen. No, just Inspector Mullen.
I wouldn't say it was tough, it was quite relaxed. It's more relaxed than a lot of things I've went for. Everyone was chatting away and quite friendly instead of being sitting behind a desk and staring. It's quite embarrassing, I suppose, with some aspects of it, but I wouldn't say it was tough.
It was great, really good fun, very professional, very well organised. Loved the feeling of the other people that were there, and I knew I wanted to be a part of it.
It was really bizarre because when I came in I knew quite a few people, which helped me because I was a lot more relaxed about it. The atmosphere was really good and everyone was getting on quite well, and actually like the audition part was quite relaxed and there wasn't any stress and they're having a laugh together, so it was good fun.
Okay, the role I'm playing is Francis McDade. He's the bad guy, the opposite man to the lead, Jason.
A bit of a loner, quiet guy. Not had a very good upbringing. Quite a lot of trauma in his life up till now. So I think he's just kind of going around and trying to stop other people having the upbringing he's had.
Sophie is the love interest type person for Jason. They met each other when he saved her life, and basically she knows of his powers and kind of patches him up when he gets into trouble.
She's been messed around a lot in the past, and she's decided that she just doesn't want to have anyone to take advantage of her. She's got an agreement with McDade, which we've decided we're not going to tell anyone what it is until after the film. And basically he needs her as much as she needs him.
Chief Inspector Sloan is a fair man whose family have been in the police force for maybe a couple of generations, I think, yes, and has a few children. And it's for that reason he's trying to keep the streets of Glasgow clean, keep the McDades of this world out of Glasgow.
He's a complicated guy, I would say. He's got a few issues, certainly. He sees himself as a bit of a businessman on the wrong side of the law, so it's been interesting to sort of draw that out. He has a partner who lets do all the dirty work.
Well, Aspen as a character, he's had a hard life and he's been in and out jail, and obviously his family has been quite hard bringing up. He likes boxing, he likes to get into a bit of fights, so now he's making money off it. And now that McDade, I'm actually working with McDade now, so McDade has actually given me quite a considerable lump sum of money for my characters, you know, so Aspen's actually quite a great character in this film, you know.
He's over from Ireland, just got posted over here in Scotland, where he's been a bit on a loose end since he came over. And since joining the force over here, he has started to settle down. He's not as quite manic as he used to be, although there's still something there. He's after the chief's job, so watch out. I'll get it one day.
I've done a lot of gangster scenes and stuff like that in films, but this one here is very powerful. When Aspen and Jason gets together, it's realistic. It's going back in time and looking at the stuff in Greenock, which is violence, and it's absolutely stunning.
But it has to be the fight, definitely. I think it took a wee bit longer than everybody would thought it would. And it's again quite physical. There's a lot of injuries. I've been punched and kicked accidentally a couple of times, and Robert's had a tooth loosened and stuff. So in that sense, it's hard. I mean, it's the best scene I think that I've got.
I'm not used to violence, so I think actually slapping McDade in the face is going to be a bit of a challenge for me, because I don't like hitting people. So I'm going to have to hit him quite a number of times, very hard. Waking
up in the morning to get here in the first place, it's quite difficult.
Probably being pushed across a road, actually. That's quite a bizarre feeling. He just came behind me and pushed me full pelt across the road, and just hoping that someone was going to be there to catch me was quite freakish.
Biggest challenges would be getting here this morning because my car broke down.
I think just doing the character justice, to be fair. I think as an actor it's difficult to achieve what the director's after, especially a director who's also written the story. They have a very clear idea in their head what they're looking for, and you want to do that justice.
I think it's going really well. I think today has gone really smoothly. We've got a lot done in a short space of time.
Everybody's 100%. This film is going to climb so high. There's a lot of people not fun. Obviously, he's trying to get the funding, and people saying nah and this and that. But when they see the website, there's that many people going onto it, and it's climbing and climbing, and you start from there and you end up like that there.
I think it's coming along fine, definitely. Everybody knows their job, cast and crew. It's all been planned out meticulously. I wouldn't say there's any setbacks other than maybe an afternoon or so we need to catch up on, but that's going to get done quite swiftly. And it's been shown this morning especially that things can go very efficiently.
It's doing good, it's doing really well. There's a good buzz, good professional approach, well organised, very well organised. And not just because you're standing there calling, but the website and stuff is very professional. There's a real professional approach to the whole thing.
Cast are terrific, yeah, absolutely fantastic. They've all got a different way of approaching what they do, and for someone in my point of view who's still finding their feet in this business, it's very exciting to see that.
Oh, I love brilliant. A big load of different characters. CJ, she's just a typical wee Sophie, bouncing about, and Robert, to know him out of character, he's totally different. It's like night and day seeing him. Steve's a great guy, Madeline's funny, just everybody involved. Really good guys on and off camera.
Cast are absolutely shy. Take it off of me, they're all crap. Not one is decent enough. Only messing. They're all brilliant. Wink, wink.
What about the crew? Oh, well, you know, where do I begin? No, the crew are actually, I would say, the crew are actually all very young, but I've been pleasantly surprised. They've been very, very professional and hard working as well.
I've done a lot of productions. I've been on Tiger, River City, I've been on Man to Man, big film I was on Sweet 16, and it's just the same crew.
Oh no, everybody's again really friendly. There doesn't seem to be any cliques forming. James, the makeup guy, I think is probably the biggest character around.
You should hear what me and my pal used to do. We used to, because we were on salon. When I was at Commander College, we used to get the old women coming in to get their hair done. And they'd be sitting under the dryer and they didn't know you could actually hear them. Oh! Aye! And he wanted it again last night. And going, do you want the magazine? She's like, oh son, you're awful nice. He's an awful nice boy, an awful nice boy. There's something awful funny about him, but he's an awful nice boy.
All seem to have his head screwed on. Everything has fallen into place really, really well. For such a young cast or crew, I was expecting a lot of up in the air. This were going to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, way over schedule. But it's all running smoothly for us.
Crap, I mean, the camera, the director, the crew's good. The whole thing has definitely got a professional look to it, you know. There's all the positions are all covered, right down to safety, makeup. That just sort of finishes the whole thing off, because in many projects I've been on where these things become an issue, or can become an issue. But no, the crew's been great. Everybody seems to have a wee bit of buzz, a wee bit of positivity about them, you know.
I hope it does. Obviously, hope it does well. Just for everybody involved, everyone's put everything they've got into it, a lot of money into it, personal money into it. A couple of fellas, Fraser especially, has left college to do this. And cast-wise, I mean, everybody knows what they want to go to. Everyone's roughly on the same level. They're still starting out. So if it gives somebody a step up the ladder, then I'd say it'd be very successful.
Hopes for the film. I hope for everybody's sake it does good.
Well, I hope it does very, very well, absolutely. I think he's got a lot of potential in what he's done, and I think the actors that he's got on board are adding an extra dimension to it, and I think the locations as well are adding an extra dimension to it. The whole thing just seems to be taking on a bit of a life of its own, which is really interesting to see, because I wasn't aware that would happen when I came on board. You never know how these things are going to play out. Sometimes it's just a disaster and sometimes it runs really smoothly. This, I think, has got a lot of potential.
I believe when we see this back, it's going to be stunning and it will be very powerful. People will be taken back with this. They'll just go, wow, what's going on here?
My personal hopes, I suppose, are for the film as a whole, is just to do really well, that we can get on and fund a second part, third part, put them together quickly, get it all done and just be totally awesome. To be honest, I think everyone's still staying on board. We've got the same people, we know what we're doing. I think you could do really well. Just make sure that everybody sees it that can.
Personally, I like to see it take a life of its own by way of serialised or whatever, or maybe a feature film itself, you know. Because there's certainly the storyline's good, the characters are good, the whole idea of it's good, and there's more than enough room for that type of thing on television these days, and movies and whatever. It's the right age group would support it in any cinema situation or TV situation. So I would hope that it maybe goes on and takes on its own life, you know, with a little help from some financial friends. What song would you like?
Oh no, you're about to start filming. We can't do it now. Did the person know he lives somewhere in there?
If I had my life to live over, I would still spend it all with you. One singer, one song.